everybody. Welcome back to episode 55 of Talkoffamepod podcast with your host, Kyliemontigney. And I'm so excited to have on singer-songwriter Stephanie Ryann. Thanks so much for coming on, Stephanie.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So you are a singer-songwriter. What made you want to start doing that and being in this industry?
It's been a long time coming. I grew up singing my whole life. My mom was in a band prior to having kids, and I'm one of four. And we all sang. My brother, not so much, but my other sisters, we grew up singing together. We would, give out little tickets to the family to make, have concerts and, just perform and be out there doing our thing. And fast forward, I went to American Idol and Nashville Star and The Voice, tried out for those. Didn't work out, but I'm actually kind of happy that it didn't, because it kind of just, they're all stepping stones to get to where I'm at now. And then finally got the opportunity to be able to cut my own songs and really put out to the world how I feel and what I wanted to write about. So it's been a long journey, but it's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, your parents, or did they play like in like your hometown, or just kind of played all over the place? It was kind of known a little bit.
So my mom used to be in a band that would travel, and that was before she settled down with my father. So we didn't really get to see my mom perform out, but we always got to hear her sing around the house, and we were in church choir together. So we always got to hear her then as well, but always heard her stories that she would tell us growing up.
Oh, absolutely. So as you kind of mentioned before, you auditioned for like American Idol, The Voice. Like, what was that kind of experience like for you to be part of those kind of big shows that in our music generation? Yeah, you just got auditioned for that.
It was definitely a learning experience. American Idol, I tried out for the first time when I was 16, and that was a little bit crazy. They hadn't really gotten all the kinks out of figuring out how they were going to move forward with auditions. So my mom and I spent the night outside of the Javits Center in Manhattan, just like sleeping on the sidewalk with everybody else, which, thinking back wasn't necessarily the safest thing, but I guess there were so many other people there doing the same thing as I. So it was a little bit more safe in that way. But, things have changed. When I first started, they had you kind of out there for umpteen hours waiting to get seen, and now as time has gone on, you have like a set time. The Voice had it right, because you got your little bracket of time, and you would just show up and you'd be there for like maybe 5 hours, and then you'd be done and gone. I think I waited on the American Idol lines back when things were a little bit more Wild West for 13 to 15 hours.
Oh, wow.
Waiting for a chance to get seen. So it definitely was a learning experience. You have to audition, and you go through audition and audition and audition before you actually get on the show. And it's a lot, but it prepared me for a lot of rejection that I would come to find over the years. And that's okay, because I just feel like you're going to have a million no's. It's just that one yes that you need. So I just keep searching for that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the hardest part about being in this industry, especially, is that you get no's, mostly no's and yeses. No matter, like, these entertainment industries, really the hardest part to be in. Like, when people ask me personally, like, what would your advice be on being in an industry about being an actor? I'm like, don't do it. Like, please don't. And so, the industry is such a very hard place to be in. So I'm like, I don't want people to go through what I had to go through. Like, from growing up as a little girl, I got a lot of hate because my dream was to be in the entertainment industry, and my people doubt me and be like, oh, you can't be in the industry because you're a woman, and like you have anxiety, and you're shy, you can't do that. And I'm like, whatever. Like, that's kind of how a lot of people are if you're a woman in the industry. That's like mostly around this kind of time frame, a lot of people are getting a lot of hate for being a woman in the industry, and like it really sucks. But then at the end of the day, we're living out our dream. That's really the most important thing.
Absolutely. And I feel like, especially today being International Women's Day, I feel like we're always making strides to get further as women and be respected in what we're doing in the industries that we decide to go into. So I'm just a big proponent of any woman figuring out what they want to do and just following that dream no matter what anybody else says.
Yeah, absolutely. So you recently came out with a song called Nights Like These. What kind of inspired you to write that song?
So that actually came out 2 years ago. I wrote it 2 years ago in 2020 when the pandemic hit and everybody was, freaking out because they didn't know what was going to happen and how this was going to roll out. So I was sitting in quarantine. I was in Virginia at my grandmother's lake house, just hanging out. I was trying to escape. At the time I lived in Connecticut and the numbers were really high there. So my husband and I went to Virginia to just kind of escape everything and be healthy. And, we took that time and I wrote a bunch of songs when I was down there, but this particular one, Nights Like These, really stood out to me because it had to do with the time period of just missing family and friends and not being able to be with people that you love, and just remembering the nights like these, the ones that we had prior to the pandemic. So I wrote that song that day. I think it was in the morning, and then I called a friend of mine, Scott Kurt, and I was like, hey, I'd love for you to be on the song with me if you could just like help me iron out a few details. And I then sent it to my producer. And because it was in the height of the pandemic, and I think Luke Combs came out with his 6 Feet Apart song, and people were kind of rolling out with those songs, I said, I need this done ASAP. How quickly can you do it? And we got the song completely finished from writing to being fully produced in about a week. And then I put it out right away. I think it came out in June 2020. And it's done really well, and it's still a song that I play in all my sets every time I play out, whether it's in a writer's round when I'm down in Nashville or a gig that I have, anywhere over the country.
Oh, that's awesome. Like basically the pandemic really changed everybody in some type of way. Either it's anxiety, depression, or just kind of trying to deal with being stuck at home. And really the hardest part for everybody, especially for me as the kind of young girl living in Pennsylvania, is like I couldn't see my family. Like most of my family lives in Pennsylvania, and I have family in Florida, Virginia. Like I use like, how am I supposed to see my family? I used to see them like every couple of weeks or months. Like I used to see them at least once a month, depending on like what we have going on. And like it really with the pandemic, I couldn't even see my family. That was really the hardest thing for me, and for sure for everybody going through this pandemic, especially once it first started. They were like, okay, well, I don't want to get COVID, so like I don't want to go anywhere. And so once it first started, no one had no idea what was going on. Like they thought, oh, maybe it's just a little sickness going around. Oh, we'll stay home for a couple of weeks. And like I thought it would last for like 2 weeks, nothing more. And I was like, oh, whatever, I could stay at home, do nothing for the next couple of weeks. So I was like, okay, well, this is kind of fun. Then now, about 2 years in the pandemic, I'm like, well, this is kind of not a joke anymore. Like, I guess you're still going with this and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot of things. It's changed the industry. It's changed everyone's lives. Some for the better, a lot for the worse. I just try to think about the good that has come from it, because there has been so much bad, and there's a lot you could focus on that is bad. But I think that's with anything in life. There's good and bad all the time, and you just have to choose what you're going to really hold on to and help you grow as a person.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're usually writing a song, like, do you usually focus on the lyrics first, or do you usually focus on the music first?
It honestly comes in different ways. It depends on the song. There's been so many times that I've gotten lyrical ideas or an idea for a title that would spin into lyrics. And then I'm just essentially writing poetry, figuring out what I want to say, and then bringing it to music. And then there's other times that I get a melody in my head that I'll sing into my phone just so I don't forget it. Otherwise, it's gone. Like once you got it, I could be up at midnight because I wake up with an idea and I have to get up out of bed, run into the other room, sing something into my phone real quietly, and then go back to bed, just so I don't forget. It happens with lyrics too. If I don't write them down right away, they're gone forever. So it really depends on the song and what I'm feeling, as opposed to like what comes first. And then it also depends on if I'm in a write with someone and you're specifically going to write a song. Sometimes somebody has an idea and then that just sparks something. whether it's music or a lyric, and then you just kind of build it from there. So I hope that answers the question. It's very kind of up in the air of how it comes.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way because I'm currently writing a book. So I'm like, when I first kind of started writing, I was like, I remember like laying down in bed to get nap because I remember I was just kind of exhausted from the day. I just like I'm tired, like I'm just kind of exhausted. I didn't get much sleep, and like when I lay down for in like 5 minutes, there a million ideas were coming in my brain. Like I couldn't sleep. Like there's so many ideas. So I might as well ask, okay, well I need to get up before I lose all of them. Because like, if I don't get up, then I won't be able to remember it. So I'm like, oh well, I might as well write these down before I lose some before anything. This is something I do not want to lose, and something that can be very important to other people one day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, do you have anyone that you look up to as a singer-songwriter?
I do. There are a lot of songwriters out there that I absolutely love. Emily Shackleton is a big favorite of mine. Natalie Hemby. Gosh, there's so many. There's so many artists that write as well. Lance Carpenter, Carly Pearce, Maren Morris, Chris Stapleton. The list kind of goes on and on. Dolly Parton. You've got all of the great songwriters from the 80s and 90s and through today. So there's just such a pool of people that you can choose from. And they all have their specialties and what they can bring to the table. So there's definitely a lot. If I had to write a list, it would be quite lengthy.
Yeah. Like, did you watch the Country Music Awards yesterday?
I did, yes.
Did,
The ACM.
what was your favorite performance or person that won yesterday? Do you have like a favorite moment from the Country Music Awards?
Oh gosh, I love that Lainey Wilson won her award. I think it was like Best New Female Artist. And I don't remember all the awards, but Miranda Lambert won Entertainer of the Year. I thought that was fantastic because she's amazing. And I feel like there's always the same like 5 people in that category, and they change every year of who wins. But Carly Pearce and Ashley McBride winning, but also performing, they did a fantastic job. Gosh, there's so many performances. I thought Kelsea Ballerini and Dolly Parton were very adorable. So just a lot of performances. It's always fun to watch award shows like that because I'm seeing exactly what I would love to be doing at some point in my career, and it just gives you that much more of a kick in the butt of like I gotta continue working so that at some point I can get to this level and then I can be doing these same things. And remembering back to when I was sitting at home watching the shows and hoping that I can make a difference in somebody else's life when they're watching the show.
Yeah, for sure. Like every year, I just remember sitting in my room or sitting in my parents' room, just watching the award shows. No matter if it's like Country Music Awards, Oscars, Emmys, no matter. I'm just thinking to myself, like, I want to be that. I want to win a big award like that. I want to make an impact. And I remember, like, when I watched the music awards yesterday, I just remember being touched by Kelly Clarkson's performance. It was a Dolly Parton song. And I was like, okay, this is a great way to honor somebody because Dolly Parton is one of the best country singers, well, a singer in general in music history. No matter what generation you are, she's one of the best to ever do it. And so she is really amazing, and like I what she does, and like she literally lived up to her potential, and like she's been around for basically before I was born, maybe since you're a kid. And so she's been around for a long time. And basically, once she started out, she became big in a couple of days. Like she got basically known everywhere in a couple of weeks, months. So she was basically very discovered. And so I also like Walker Hayes' performance yesterday. Walker Hayes is very talented, and I'm seeing him in concert a couple of weeks, so I'm very excited for that. But like he's just a very talented person, an amazing person. But the way it touched me when he went up to his wife, like when he was singing, and like really touched me, like a little bit, like when he came up to his wife like during the song when he was singing and stuff, and he was walking around. I was like, okay, well, I'm so jealous. Like in some type of way. Like this is amazing. Like the love they have is amazing, and I absolutely adore that. And like this, it's just amazing how much love he has for his family, fans, and basically everyone out there. He's just really amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, if you could collab with any singer songwriter, who would it be?
I have a very lengthy list for that one as well. But I would love to collaborate with Dolly Parton. That would probably be my first one because, as you said, she's been around for decades and she has such an amazing career. And I would just be honored to work with her, before it's too late. And you never know when anybody's time is, but
Mm-hmm.
I would just love the opportunity to work with such a talent that has been able to go across decades and never lose that fire. She's been working for so many years and she's continuously pushing boundaries and doing different things. And I love watching that, but I also would love to learn from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like she's been an icon in every single way. Like everything she does with her advocacy, singing, and things she does outside singing has really made a huge impact on everyone that knows, like, kind of grew up with her and just kind of been around that with her music. Like she has touched everyone that basically knows who she is. And so
Mm-hmm.
like she is someone that I love to be someday. Like she's someone I sometimes I look at a picture or video or a moment of her, I'll be like, I want to do that. Like I would love to see what she does, and like I would love to kind of experience that with her. Like she's someone
Mm-hmm.
that I would love to kind of do something, no matter if it's like singing, doing an episode with, or no matter what it is. I would like to do this sometime before if basically anything happens or whatever, things change.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. So you just got to keep going for what you want in your life and, hope that you get those opportunities. And if you
Yeah.
don't, you create your other opportunities that are just going to bring you as far.
Yeah, for sure. Since quarantine started back in 2020, how much do you think has changed in terms of songwriting since the pandemic started?
I think, specifically for me, my songwriting has changed dramatically because prior to the pandemic, I didn't play guitar. So I taught myself guitar over the pandemic because I needed to. I wanted to, and I have wanted to learn guitar for quite a number of years, but it's challenging. And anybody who's watching this who knows how to play any instrument knows how hard it is to learn one,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're an adult. Um, so I really buckled down and taught myself so that I could be performing online when everybody else was. I didn't want to get forgotten about, and I wanted to continue to build my craft. And that really changed my songwriting from just singing a melody into my phone to actually being able to use the guitar to write songs, and then kind of opened my pool up to a lot of different creativity to pull from with that knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, for the final question is, what is some advice to younger generations that would like to be a aspiring singer-songwriter one
I would say never stop working hard towards whatever your dream is. If you want to be a singer songwriter, then you need to research and do all of the things that you need to do in order to follow that path. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it or that you shouldn't do it. If it's something that's a passion of yours that you want to follow, do it no matter what.
day? Yeah, for sure. Like, a lot of people always kind of live up to your expectations, saying like you should do this, you should do that, or like you should be bigger than this, like you shouldn't be do this because you're a woman or you're like 5 years old or you're not as good as others. And like that's what is
Absolutely.
wrong with some people, is that like people can live up to their expectations and people can prove them wrong. That's something I love. And so like when I
Hmm.
think about it, I think to myself like I don't want to listen to those people. Like those people, or if I were them, I'll be missing out. If I was looking at someone that was living my life that I wanted to be, and like trying to chasing their dreams and achieving their goals and everything. And if it were me, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm jealous. Like that's what I want to do. And that's something that's been kind of happening with everyone. It's like you can't do that because of your religion or whatever it is. Like that's kind of what's wrong with some of our generation, is that like you kind of live up to someone's expectations, or people tell you can't do it. So it's really kind of, I really cannot kind of connect with that quote. I can't really speak today, to be honest with you, but like I really cannot. Oh my God, why can't I speak today? But like, I really connect on what you were saying. It's like you, like, no matter what you're going through, you can always live up to expectation, no matter how hard it is.
Absolutely. I literally wrote an entire song about that. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's called I Should.
Mm.
And that song is all about people telling you that you should live a certain type of life, and going against that as a individual who doesn't want to follow that path of life and wants to follow their dream of whatever that is. So that's why I wrote that song. And, I've gotten a lot of great feedback from it, which is lovely. And I hope that that song hits people like it does me. Like, that's a song that I've written that I could listen to day in and day out and never get sick of, because I know where it came from, and I know the struggle it is for people who have been told that they can't do a certain thing, especially women, that they shouldn't or couldn't, or there's no chance that they'll have the ability to do that. We as women need to break boundaries for other women and other people that are told that they can't. So that is why I wrote that song, to, inspire people to follow their dream and do what they want with their lives.
Oh, love it. That's amazing. So I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You're amazing. It was so good to speak with you. We'll definitely speak soon for sure. Thanks so much for coming on, Savannah.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
Amazing.
appreciate you having me. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Of course. Thank you so much.